Dr. Kosai Abedo, thank you very much for being with us, a writer and a political analyst. I wanted to ask you about this visit by the French Foreign Minister and the German Foreign Minister, Jean-Noel Barrot, and also Annalena Baerbock. What is the significance of this, and how important is it to Syria?
Good evening to you and to your viewers. In fact, as a beginning, this visit is arranged by the EU because the EU decided to send the foreign minister of Germany and France to Syria in order to review on the ground what is the situation and to open good relations with Syria and to monitor the political situation in Syria to guarantee the rights of the minorities and to guarantee the representation of all the components of the Syrian people and to guarantee engaging into a civil state where everybody participates. That's one thing. And also to see the Sirnaya prison in order to get some documents and information that can be used to be presented to the United Nations and to be presented to the International Court so as to pursue the former regime and the officials who were entangled with killing the Syrians and put them to fair trial. Also, there are certain items that were discussed, including resuming the operations of the French, German embassies, as well as the other European embassies, and also to provide assistance to the Syrian state in order to be back engaged on the regional and international levels, so as Syria would be back to its geopolitical role in the world, to have good relations with Europe and to be open to everybody. And also there were talks and discussions about the HTS, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, and to see how they undertake things properly so as Germany and France can lift HTS from the list of sanctions and remove it from the list of terrorist organizations. So all of these elements were discussed extensively. Also regarding the political situation, there has been a discussion about the outspread of weapons throughout Syria and also the file of the Kurds and the SDF forces.
So do you think, Doctor, that this was a successful visit? And how important, and were you surprised to have a delegation from the EU come to Syria so quickly after the fall of Assad?
The issue is to get Syria to be open to everybody, and the visit is a part of this.
And a successful visit in Syria's view? Okay. Well, I think I'm going to move on to a different question for you, Doctor. Of course, there was a visit as well by Syria's, Syria's new foreign minister and also defense minister who have been to Riyadh. How important is that relationship, and how important is that visit for Syria? What are the significant points about that?
Yes, for sure, Saudi Arabia has got a support on the Arab and Islamic levels. So opening the relations with Syria is important. It was inevitable. That's a must for both countries to get the best relations between Syria and Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia was also initiating its steps to assist the Syrian people. We have seen the assistance that arrived at the Syrian airport. And this is the first visit from a delegation from the new Syrian Republic to Saudi Arabia. it recognizes the weight of Saudi Arabia on the regional and international levels. And also, there has been a discussion on many files, and on top of which was the assistance from Saudi Arabia to the Syrian state to get Saudi gas and oil to Syria. So Saudi Arabia is proposing a lot of things to assist the Syrian people.
And that's very good for Syria and the relationship with Saudi. And as you mentioned, it has many benefits. When it comes to the reintegration of Syria in regional, political, and economic terms, do you think this is going to happen quite quickly?
So we need some time. It's not going to be so swift, it's not going to be so quick, but it will take some months. But the diplomatic move that is happening in Syria now, since a month now, it is a very strong movement. And still, we need to open the embassies, we need to facilitate the movement of the airports, and to qualify the Salvation government in Syria to do its works and to restore relations with the European countries. So this is on the foreign level, but internally Syria needs to organize the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Defense. So the diplomatic movement is an important element for Syria, and of course lifting the sanctions on Syria is a prime step that should be done as soon as possible. Also, the issue of the political representation of the Syrian Foreign Ministry. Syrian Foreign Ministry should be represented all over the world in the Syrian embassies. Also, the issue of Saudi Arabia is specific because Saudi Arabia has got its own specificity together with Egypt and the other Gulf countries. So there had been more of a frozen relations with the former regime. But restoring these relations would be important to revitalize things in Syria on the political level and the economic level. And these countries would definitely be working to assist the Syrian people in order to resume normal life and to get things gradually back on track on the economic level. Still, all these issues would need time, that's for sure. We can speak of months before these things are back on track.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on the program from Latakia. That was the writer and political analyst, Dr. Kosai Abedo. Thank you for being here with us on Q News.